If you're fine with being a housekeeper, then I'll give you the address. Excuse me? It's fine if you don't like it. I'll have you divorce him. And we'll get a proper daughter-in-law for this house. It seems my in-laws are seriously thinking their son is earning well and have bought a new house. There's a divorce paper already filled out in your room. Andrew is serious. You have no choice but to change your heart. I went to my room. Indeed, there was a completed divorce form placed there. At that moment, something inside me felt like it burst. Is that so? Then, I will divorce a husband with a monthly income of $900. Huh? $900 a month? What are you talking about? You mean $90,000 a month, right? My name is Hillary. Currently, I am living off real estate investments. I started real estate investment about 5 years ago, and thanks to a lot of study before entering, I believe I am now earning quite a high income. With new tenants moving in, my income continues to rise. So I am thinking about buying new real estate. I currently have a boyfriend named Andrew, and we have been dating for a year. We met at a mixer, and he approached me, who was shy, which led to our dating. He works for a large corporation and seems interested in business. So he was very interested in my investment stories. As we met and talked several times, we were attracted to each other and started dating. I really respect people who can succeed in investment. Hillary, you're really amazing. Thank you. I've failed at times, but now I can live on this. I wonder if I can someday live on investment like that? Why not try without fear? You might be able to do it. I'll teach you. Thank you. But I'm afraid of failure, so I guess I'll stay as I am for now. I understand his feelings very well. Investment comes with risks. And I believe those who are willing to take the challenge can succeed in investment. Moreover, he works for a large corporation. And there's no need for him to invest aggressively for a stable income. That's why I'm not forcing him. Then one day, he proposed to me. It's been 1.5 years since we started dating. And I want to seriously think about our future. So, will you marry me? What, marry?
Yeah.
Will you stay with me forever? I was already 34 years old, so indeed, I was conscious about marriage. Thus, his proposal made me very happy. And from the bottom of my heart, I also wanted to marry him. Thus, we decided to get married. We quickly greeted each other's parents and finished the family introductions before holding our wedding ceremony. It all happened so fast, and before I knew it, our newlywed life had begun. I was looking forward to a happy married life, but after getting married, my husband's attitude changed drastically. Now that we're married, I want to move. How about we move into one of your real estate properties? Huh? Why? Because you have spare properties, right? We can move in immediately. Well, that might be true, but I bought them for investment purposes. If we live there, the profit will decrease. What? Don't be so stingy. We can manage with one less room. If you don't like it, we can just buy a new one. Don't say it's that simple. The houses I buy for real estate are based on how many years it will take to recoup the investment and how much profit it will generate. If we live in it, the whole repayment plan for the real estate will be messed up. I explained this to my husband, but he seemed not to understand the complexities and insisted on living in one of the houses I own. It's a shame to have such a good property and only use it for your own profit. It seems like money is more important to you than family, Hillary. I see how it is. My husband criticized me like that. I was left speechless. No matter how much I explained the difficulties of investment and the risks of loss, he showed no interest in understanding. as our relationship might suffer and we could afford to rent a house without any financial issues. I decided to compromise. However, a few months later, my husband suddenly said, "My parents are sick and need money. Can we sell one of your real estate properties to raise some cash?" "What, sell? That's not possible." "Why not?" "My parents are sick, you know? I'm worried about them, but selling a house isn't simple and it requires a lot of procedures. Even if we decide to sell, it can't be done immediately. It takes time, the procedures are complicated, and it's not suitable for quickly preparing money." Sigh. You really only think about money, huh? My parents are sick and in trouble, and you don't even want to help. Is money all that matters to you? I really doubt your character. But it's not that simple for me to act. And selling my real estate affects the foundation of our lives, you know? If our income decreases, we might not be able to live as we do now. I want you to understand that. Humph, so you're the type to forsake lives for money when it comes down to it? Got it. It's not like that. Anyway, what illness do your parents have? Which one of your parents is sick, and what kind of illness is it? Forget it. You're not going to give the money anyway, right? After saying that, my husband went into his room. In the end, I never found out which of my in-laws was sick or what illness they had. My distrust towards my husband only grew. I earn through real estate investment, which comes with its risks and hardships. My husband completely fails to understand the effort I put in, leaving me at a loss for what to say or do. My husband doesn't understand me at all, and he's asking me to sell my real estate to make money. I'm really questioning whether I should continue this marriage. Was this marriage the right decision? I've started to think about these things. And then, my husband took a surprising action. He quit his job without consulting me first. Why did you quit your job without discussing it with me first? We can live comfortably on your income, so there's no need for me to work, right? Plus, I need to support my parents. I want to be able to visit them during the day to check on them. You mean because of your parents' illness? Can't you at least tell me what kind of illness it is and what the situation is? You don't have to worry or ask about it if you're not concerned. That's not it. My husband stubbornly refused to tell me about his parents' illness. I was also shocked that he quit his job, relying on my income. Indeed, I make a decent amount from real estate investments. But that doesn't mean I wanted my husband to be unemployed. I wanted someone who works hard and lives as a responsible adult. Real estate investment isn't always safe and secure, you know? I wanted you to continue working, for emergencies, and for our future children. Please, can you at least find a part-time job? I pleaded with him. He looked annoyed but finally agreed with a fine. It seemed that my lamenting, "We might not be able to continue our marriage like this," made an impact. Perhaps he realized he'd be in trouble if we separated now. Afterward, my husband started a part-time job. However, he only works 3 days a week for short hours. No matter how much I persuade him, he refuses to work more. He insists on not increasing his work days because he needs to visit his parents. We are living as a married couple. Yet how can he make such unilateral decisions without any discussion? If he truly cared about our family, he wouldn't make such decisions. I was utterly disappointed and shocked by his selfish behavior. Although he was working part-time, another problem arose one day. "My mom and dad are coming over this evening, so please prepare for it." What, was this decided suddenly? No, not suddenly. I just forgot to tell you. You forgot? But telling me this all of a sudden is troubling. Of course, our home is generally tidy, and their visit wouldn't usually be a problem. However, if my husband's parents were coming, I wanted to prepare properly. And I had plans for today. My husband proceeded with the plan without considering any of this. What's the big deal? You're a housewife, so you can prepare quickly, right? I need to buy groceries, and I can't just serve nothing for tea. Then go buy them now. Why can he take such an arrogant attitude? Frustrated but not wanting to waste time, I quickly went to the supermarket to buy ingredients. After returning home, I immediately started cooking and waited for my in-laws to arrive. Thankfully, everything was ready in time. It's been a while, Andrew. Have you been well?
Yeah.
Mom, I've been fine. So, Hillary, you're still married? Excuse me? You hardly ever show your face, do you? So, I thought you might have been divorced. My mother-in-law said this in a sarcastic manner. We were never particularly close even since the marriage introductions. And while it wasn't infuriating, it's questionable to start with such a remark after not seeing each other for a while. Well, it's true I haven't shown my face around, so I can't complain. But it's not like we have grandchildren or anything, and I'm not just idling my days away. However, it seems she doesn't consider my circumstances. I just have to endure it until we finish the meal and leave. But really, living in such a nice house, do you properly thank Andrew for it? Exactly. Being a housewife and living this luxury lifestyle is all thanks to whom? You should really think about that. My in-laws said this with stern looks. Then my husband intervened. Come on, both of you, calm down. I'm grateful to my wife. Don't blame her like that. Andrew is really kind. Truly, a well-raised son. I didn't understand what was happening. Why do I have to be told such things? It appears my husband has told his parents that living in this house is thanks to his earnings. Sure, when he was employed at a large corporation, living in this luxury apartment might have been possible. However, now he's just a part-time worker. Moreover, this house was bought with my real estate investments. It wasn't purchased with his earnings, and I'm the one covering our living expenses. What are you talking about? I'm the owner of this house. When I said this, my in-laws burst into laughter. What a thing to say. Enough with the jokes. My in-laws didn't listen to me at all. They completely believed what my husband had told them. Under these circumstances, they probably wouldn't believe me if I told them my husband was a part-timer. Reluctantly, I decided not to contradict what was said. However, I had to ask. Is the illness okay? Illness? Whose? Oh, I mean, Andrew mentioned that his parents were sick. Huh? What are you talking about? I looked at my husband, but he pretended not to know anything. What's going on here? Are you making us out to be sick on your own? If so, that's quite rude. No, that's not what I meant. My in-laws glared at me, displeased. In the end, my husband did not stand up for me. And only a tense atmosphere remained between me and my in-laws. Afterward, they only spoke to my husband, finished their meal, said goodbye only to him, and left. Once my in-laws were gone, I confronted my husband. What was with your behavior and attitude today? Huh? What do you mean? First off, acting like you bought this house is strange, isn't it? It's ours as a married couple, so what's the problem? And pretending like you're still working at that company, what's that about? Wouldn't parents worry if their son was just a part-timer? I just thought I'd spare them the unnecessary concern. With each question, I couldn't stop sighing. So, what was that about your parents being sick? When I asked your parents, they seemed to have no idea what I was talking about. That was a lie I told to test you. What? You seemed to only care about money since we got married. I wanted to see if you would willingly spend money without hesitation. If my parents were seriously ill, and I found out that you would be reluctant to give money. How could you? Testing me by lying is the worst. Who's the worst here? You don't care about my parents. That's not true. I've always wanted to get along well with your parents. Then let's see some sincerity. What? Sincerity? After saying that, my husband went into his room. What does he mean by sincerity? However, he didn't tell me anything. About a month has passed since then. One day, I had plans to stay at my parents' house, so I left our home empty for a day. I'm home. I assumed no housework would have been done. That's what I thought as I entered the house. But then, I felt something was off. The house felt different somehow. That was my immediate thought. The reason became clear quickly. My husband's belongings, furniture, and appliances were gone. What? A burglary? At first, that's what I thought, but it was too much taken boldly for a burglary. That means my husband must have moved them. But where to? Suddenly, I got a call from my in-laws. Hello? Hillary? What happened, mother? Were you surprised to see the house? Hillary, what? Surprised that Andrew's belongings are all gone, right? Do you know something? Yes, indeed. He's with me now. So, you mean he moved his stuff to your house? No, dear. To a new house. New house. He said he wanted to live in a new house. Really? It's true what they say about successful people being able to buy multiple houses. Such an amazing child. Wait a minute. Which house is it? Oh, you're planning to come over? Of course. I thought maybe my husband had gone to one of the vacant houses I had bought for investment purposes. He had asked which vacant houses were available, as he wanted to decide where to live. And I had told him about them. It seems he moved his belongings to one of those houses. And decided to live there without telling me. It wouldn't mean anything if I just told you for free, would it? What? You've been quite cheeky, so we need to set some conditions. Conditions? Yes, that's right. If you're fine with being a housekeeper, then I'll give you the address. Excuse me? It's fine if you don't like it. I'll have you divorce him. And we'll get a proper daughter-in-law for this house. It seems my in-laws seriously think their son is earning well and have bought a new house. There's a divorce paper already filled out in your room. Andrew is serious. You have no choice but to change your heart. I went to my room. Indeed, there was a completed divorce form placed there. At that moment, something inside me felt like it burst. Is that so? Then, I will divorce a husband with a monthly income of $900. Huh? $900 a month? What are you talking about? You mean $90,000 a month, right? If you want to believe that, then go ahead. But, the house I'm living in now, and the one you are in were both bought with my real estate investment income. Enough with the lies. It's not a lie. And Andrew quit his job and is now a part-timer. Huh? A part-timer? So, the one earning $90,000 a month is me. Stop it, will you? There's no way Andrew would lie. How dare you insult us like this? I'm returning those words right back to you. Never mind. I'll submit the divorce papers, and then I'll report an illegal intruder. What? I said that and hung up the phone. Then, I immediately filled out the divorce papers and submitted them to the office. Now, Andrew and I are strangers to each other. While I was at the office, my husband called me multiple times, but I completely ignored him. He's probably flustered because I said I'd divorce him. Maybe it was intended as a threat. I also have a good idea of which house Andrew has moved into. When I drove to that house, sure enough, my husband's car was parked there. I immediately called the police to report an illegal intruder. Soon after, the police arrived, and I entered the house with them. My in-laws and husband were frozen when the police entered. This is illegal entry. Can you come with us to the station? What are you talking about? We're living in our son's house. Unfortunately, this is my house. I showed them the certificate proving that I own this apartment. Andrew and I are divorced now. And moving your belongings into this room without permission is not acceptable. Wait, Hillary. Even if we're divorced and now strangers, we were married. So half of your property is mine, right? I'm taking this house. So, there's no need for us to leave. Hearing this, his parents nodded in agreement. However, such reasoning doesn't hold up. This house was purchased before we got married, so it's not subject to division of property. Whatever you say is pointless. To me, you are strangers trespassing and living in this house without permission. Officer, please handle this. I said this and left the rest to the police. My in-laws and husband were taken away by the police in a daze. Until the end, my in-laws insisted that I was lying and claimed their innocence. But after my husband confessed everything, they were deeply disheartened. They ended up having to pay a settlement and incurred debt. They had believed my husband's lies to the extent that they had already sold their own house. And are now living in a cramped apartment, the three of them together. My in-laws blamed my husband for everything, and my husband was defiant in return, leading to terrible family relations. However, they have to live under the same roof because they can't afford to live separately without each other's financial support. Meanwhile, after the unauthorized residents were cleared out, my property was cleaned up, and a legitimate tenant was found. My investments are progressing smoothly, and my income is increasing. For now, I think I'll take a break from dating and maybe go on a trip abroad to reflect on myself.